it is possible to build a dark hunting air-to-air missile. Instead of hunting for the infrared signature, the heat from an aircraft, it actually looks for the fact that the aircraft is blocking out the light from the sky. You're actually essentially looking for almost the shadow of the airplane against the sky. The advantage of this is it's very hard to spoof. If you're hunting for a heat system, a flare can be fired, and that flare might momentarily confuse the missile. So the dark shape that's being hunted, there's no real way to simulate that. The difficulty is finding the dark shape at a distance. It's easier, certainly in a night sky particularly, to find heat. The advantage of switching between light hunting, infrared hunting, and dark hunting is choice to achieve a maximum level of contrast. The dark shape has a very good contrast against the light background. The infrared has a very good contrast against the dark background. But when it gets close, the dark shape cannot be spoofed by infrared flares. So the design of the tracking head would have at least two different types of detectors. It would have an infrared detector to detect the heat at a distance, and then it would have other parts of the visual light spectrum to detect the contrast with the night sky, or the daylight sky even for that matter. What that would mean, of course, is that there are essentially only half as many detectors for the infrared, so the distance at which it can detect an aircraft is going to be reduced. As it approaches the aircraft, when it can see the dark shape, it would turn off the infrared detectors and it would use the secondary set of detectors, which are detecting the night sky or the daylight sky. And it's looking for the places where that is blanked out by the dark shape of the aircraft. The other consideration is lasers have been worked on to jam infrared or visual systems, light spectrum systems, both infrared or visual light. The laser light overwhelms and blinds it. The laser is emitting infrared light to jam an infrared system. Visible light away from the infrared will not be affected by the laser. The laser will essentially be dark. It is possible to have material that changes from light to dark. There is material whose transparency can be changed by the application of an electrical current. You could sandwich several layers of these in the lens system of the heat-seeking missile, and that would allow effectively for sunglasses on the missile so it's not blinded by laser light. It could be sandwiched between optical glass for the light tracker, the spectral tracker. The problem with this is that material will degrade the quality of the optics. And again, the distance at which the aircraft can be detected will be reduced. But you have a missile that fires on infrared at a distance. If a laser is shined at it, the material is darkened, and it actually then follows the laser to the aircraft. If a laser is not shown as it approaches the aircraft, the infrared detectors are turned off so that flares will not confuse it, and it hunts the dark shape of the aircraft against the ambient light of the sky. This can make a missile potentially more lethal.